Clownfish are also known as anemone fish because they live within the venomous tentacles of the sea anemone. The good news is that clownfish are covered with a protective mucus that allows them protection or immunity from the venom of the anemone. This is perfect because the clownfish then get this protection from predators such as groupers, snappers, triggerfish, and eels, but anyone else who was to get too close may not be so lucky. Because of this, clownfish don't tend to stray too far from their anemone homes. So what does the anemone get in return? Well, the clownfish works hard to remove parasites and chase away any other species that might want to feast on the host. It's a win-win situation for both the clownfish and its anemone home, and this is what we call a symbiotic relationship. There are nearly 30 species of clownfish that live in the shallow tropical waters of the Indian Ocean, Red Sea, and Western Pacific. They're also omnivores, which means they eat both meat and plants. Their typical diet will include things like algae, zooplankton, worms, and small shrimpy crabby things. The craziest thing about them is that all clownfish are born male. Yes, you heard me right. Every single one of them is born male. So where do the females come from? Aha! The biggest in a school will irreversibly turn into a female. The next largest individual becomes her partner, and they become mama and papa and have babies. However, if the female dies, the papa becomes the mama and the next largest becomes the new papa. Okay, just to make sure, let's try that again. The mama is the biggest and the papa is the second biggest. If the mama dies, the papa can then become the mama and the next biggest male will become the new papa. Isn't that amazing? So now, if we think about the movie Finding Nemo, I think you'll all agree that they made a small mistake. Yes, Nemo and Marlin were clownfish, but remember how Nemo's mom got eaten by a barracuda right at the start? Well, based on what we just learned about clownfish, when she got eaten, Marlin the papa should have turned into the new mama. I'm sure we can all agree that Finding Nemo was a great movie, apart from the small mistakes. But the biggest problem was that everyone who watched it immediately wanted to own a Nemo in their own home aquariums. This caused what we call the Nemo Effect, as more than 1 million clownfish were taken from the tropical reefs as pets, reducing the numbers in the wild. I think maybe it's wise to remember that we don't need to own everything that's beautiful. And wild things, well, they belong in the wild.